Okay. Welcome everybody, and Bruchim Aboim, Shem Hashem. We have this week's Parshas is Emor, but also it's a few days before the Lag BaEmor, 33 of the Emor, whereas the Yotzeit of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, but he's a fascinating understatement, very special personality that is obviously connected with this time of Sfira, first where his students passed away in Sfira. And then interesting, when he passed away, he said to make it an ayontiv, not to make it anything negative. Fakir should be a celebration. So I think we'll focus mainly on Rashbi, first with a few questions, and then we'll see where we'll extend it to what. So Rashbi, let's start a little bit in order. He was a Talmud of Rabbi Akiva. He was of the 5 students of Rabbi Akiva after Rabbi Akiva lost his 24,000. I don't think it's clear if he was one of the 24 that remained alive, or there's no student that he got after that. It was 5 students. So there's an interesting story that when they were sitting in the classroom by Rabbi Akiva, so Rabbi Meir was also there. So they put Rashbi in the back. So Rashbi was very surprised. He knew his own greatness, and he felt that he doesn't belong in the back. He belongs in the front. So as he says, Niskar came upon him. His face changed color, like he felt completely something is wrong here. What is wrong here? Let's go. If he belongs in the back, like Rabbi Akiva put him there, in other words, they will put in order of the greatness. So he will put in the back means like he's the smallest, at least behind Rabbi Meir. So if Rabbi Akiva is right that he's small and he has to be in the back, and he himself thinks about that he belongs to be in the front, so it's a big problem. If a person doesn't know himself, then it's a problem. He has to know himself. And if the way he knows himself, and he knows Rabbi Meir, and he belongs in the front, and Rabbi Akiva doesn't know him, so then it's also a problem, because you need a Rebbe that knows you, not a Rebbe that doesn't know you, because he has to teach you according to your level. It's not only teaching information. He was the Rebbe. Now, just to explain the idea is, so Rabbi Akiva saw it, what on the face of Rashbi that completely complex about what's happening here. So he turned and he told him, don't worry. It's enough for you that I, Ani, Ubeiracha, and you creator, Makirin Kechacha, know your strength. So in other words, you are right. You are much greater than all of them, even from Rabbi Meir, as we'll explain soon. And what you know yourself right. And I know that also. You don't have a Rebbe that doesn't. I know that you're greater. But for you, it's enough that only me and your creator know your strength, and nobody else knows the strength. Otherwise, for she said, the students around Rabbi Meir and all the other students for sure didn't know that Rashbi is greater than them. So let's understand, why didn't they know? They were such a great tzaddikim. The whole Torah was built on them. Otherwise, when the 24,000 students died, it was at the danger of the whole Torah being forgotten. And Rabbi Akiva, with these 5 students, rebuilt the Torah. If you want to go a step, just another shadow, maybe we touched it. Why did they have to be almost forgotten and then be rebuilt by Rashbi by Rabbi Akiva with 5 Talmidim? Why did it have to go that way? We'll keep it on this side. So the Gemara said that Rabbi Meir, why was it called Rabbi Meir? Meir means shining. Meir, Meir, he's shining. That he would illuminate the Chachamim. And in the same time, as much as he illuminated them, Leyodu Chachamim was saved died to show Rabbi Meir. That his Chaverim were never able to understand them properly. And therefore, it manifests itself in halachic situation. have a debate, an argument in the halacha, and the mayor was on one side, and his friends were on the other side. So he tried to explain to them. So they felt that he's saying something deeper than beyond them, but he couldn't understand him clearly. So if they couldn't understand him clearly, then the psak is according to majority. So the psak wasn't like him. On the other hand, we're saying Stam Mishnah of Meir, normally Mishnah of Meir. So why didn't they understand him? They were great scholars. That means he was so much greater than them that no matter how much he would explain to them, and they felt that he's greater than them. They felt that they're not getting it. And how much they tried to the best, the maximum. They were not lazy. They tried the maximum to understand what they couldn't understand. Why? Because he was so higher than them. You know, but if somebody is just a little bit higher than you, or they're a lot higher than you, sometimes by pushing yourself and he's helping you to explain to you, you could get there. But something that's a little bit too much higher, so you can't go that. You can't go that. It's higher than you completely that you cannot go there. So we're saying that Reb Meir was much higher than all of them to a point that he could never understand them properly. Never, or most of the time. The other Chacham, our sages, the Chachamim could not come down to understand what he's saying. Okay? So here you have us. Now, between the other one, probably also different between one and the other, but they could understand each other. The Meir was not only greater than them, but he's so much greater than them that he couldn't understand them. Okay, let's take it a step further. Now, what's happening by Rashbi? We have a different situation completely. It comes to Rashbi. So we're saying that not only they didn't understand him, they didn't even realize that he's higher than them. And when you could hear at least that the guy is higher than you, that's already a relationship. You see that that's something deeper than you, that you don't understand. But now we're saying not only that they couldn't understand, they couldn't even see that he's higher than them. So in other words, Reb Meir and the other were convinced that they are higher than Rashbi. So let's explain in simple word. When the gap is a limited gap, relatively limited, not because we also very, very, very great limitation, could be very big limitation. At least you could see that's beyond you. But when it's infinitely beyond you, you cannot even see it's beyond you. Let's give us a simple physical example, maybe it will help a little bit. When you see an airplane flying, the closer he's down, the bigger he is. The higher he goes, the smaller he is. But you can see, oh, he's very high. But he will go very high, you won't see him and you won't hear him. Right? Because he's completely not new, he's not in your level, not in your world, he's in a different world completely. So again, so there's a level where you could see that it's beyond you, and there's a level where you don't even see that's beyond you. And that's what Rabbi Kiva was telling him, that the Rashbi out of his humility, that the yechotz are good enough for you. You are in a level where nobody else knows that you are higher than them. Therefore, I'm putting you in front of them behind in the back because that's the way their perception is. As far as they don't understand now. The ultimately later Rashbi came out after the being in the cave, hiding for 12 and then another year, 13th year, that they started to see the greatness of Rashbi. But that is first step number one. Would be seeing Rashbi that he was something completely out of their horizon, that they couldn't even see that he's bigger than them. Okay, so let's go develop with Rashbi more. So the Rashbi said, I could free the whole world from judgment for the rest of history. So Rashbi is saying that I'm so great. He said other things. He said, no Simone Balma, but not going there. I'm just a sign of the Eibishter in one unity. I'm one with him. But he said, I'm so great, I could free the whole world from judgment. First of all, it sounds very arrogant. How could he say such a thing? Second thing, no matter, let's say that you are so great, unbelievable, infinitely great, but how could you free everybody from judgment? What is the connection of your greatness to the problem of the whole world? Not only one person could free the whole world. The whole world means not only the Jews, even the non-Jews, and not only the Jews and the non-Jews, but even the whole world, everything about the world. I would even say it all the worlds. Why? How? What does it mean that your greatness could free the whole world from judgment? What does it help in a true judgment that you are such a great tzaddik that the idea that this Yankel is unfortunately not only not such a great level, he's in a negative place and he deserves judgment and you could free him from the judgment. How does it work? Why should it work? If it's this protects you, like you're saying, until the Eibishter, no, I don't do nothing to him. The problem becomes bigger. If you free him from judgment, the judgment is ultimately for the benefit of the person, that he should be cleansed, should be refined. If somebody doesn't behave, so we have to judge him and give him a punishment in order to should improve. So if you're freeing him from judgment, you're not doing him a favor. If you're doing him this favor, this service. It's question number one. So what does it mean that he could free everybody from judgment? And that is this question, if you could, so why don't you do it? Especially that you're telling us, so, and if you're not going to do it, why are you telling us? Let's say you could do it. You could free the whole world from judgment. But you're not going to do it. So why are you telling it to us? Because you want to tell us how great you are. So why didn't he do it? And how is he going to do it? Then is Bradane but Rashbi. Find there's a mimer of the Rebbe, based on the Rebbe Marashta mimer, Lahovin in Rashbi. Understand the idea of Rashbi. Interesting. And under what Rashbi is a phenomenon. They have a whole mimer to explain the idea of Rashbi. So he's asking a very interesting question. We see by Rashbi that his friends would praise him with tremendous praises. Tremendous praise, not great. They would talk about him, they would call him Shabbos. The praises was like infinite praises. So what is the purpose of that? We're trying to strike his ego. Isn't it a danger? Maybe Chassidus will get some ego. Why was this praising him such a great thing? And from his point of view, for who was it necessary? Between himself, they could speak it, but he's great. But what is the purpose of the praising him so much? And again, going to the idea, how much greater was he from them? So the Rebbe explains it in the Maimer that where do we find a similar idea that we're praising somebody? By praising the Eibishter. So what is the purpose of praising the Eibishter? You know the Eibishter is great, the Eibishter knows he's great. What are we praising him? So he's explaining that in order to get the blessings of the Eibishter, by praising him, that's how you're able to bring Hamshocha, bring down a revelation, bring down a blessing, bring down flow from a level that's infinite you. Something that's completely infinite beyond you, the way you relate to that by praising it. By praising it, that is infinitely beyond you. Yeah. That helps, that is the mean to get there. So because Rashbi was infinitely, the Rabbi is saying it clearly, Rashbi was infinitely greater than his Chaverim, all the Tanoim. In other words, does he have to be Dafka infinite? They shouldn't be able to appreciate his greatness? I don't know. Could be. But he was infinitely greater than them. And therefore, they had to praise him in order to be Hashpoy, to get Hashpoy from him, to get a revelation from him. What was he giving them? What did he give them? But they were tzaddikim. Tzaddikim, especially talking about these 5 Talmidim for Rabbi Kiva, and be saying that not only he was greater than them, greater than all the Tanaim. And they wrote the Torah Shebal Peh. They are the Mishnayos. That the base of the whole Torah, of the whole overall law, is coming from the Talmidim, from the Tanaim. So what did he give them? So he's saying an interesting thing. He gave them the level of Eson Sheben Neshama. What's the Eson Sheben Neshama? That in order that they, when they learn Torah, they should be able to bring the essence of the Torah in Torah, the essence of the Neshama of the Jew. to bring it into the Torah. That shouldn't be only, when you learn Torah, it could be in two levels. It could be a revelation. Could be, then you go higher, be a higher revelation. And the Torah is not only information. Every word of Torah represents a certain level of godliness that brings down. And every word is the word of God. So in revelation, you could go higher and higher and higher. There's infinite levels, you could go higher and higher. But as infinite as you go in revelation, it's still a revelation. But it's not the absolute essence of the neshama, essence of the Torah. Like, let's say, the idea of, we said there's 5 levels of the neshama. There's nefesh, ruach. In nefesh elikis, we're talking about the godly soul, not the animal soul, not the living soul. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, and yechideh. What's the difference? All 4 levels, nefesh, ruach, neshama, and chaya, are all levels of revelation. It's not 4 worlds, but also the different 4 worlds. Asiya, Yetzirah, Bria, Atzilas, it's all levels of revelation of godliness. In every higher world is a much higher level of revelation, going almost an infinitely higher level of revelation. That's why it changes the name of the world. But the essence is not there. Now, what we have to do, what Rabbi brought into the Tanoim, what he gave them, not only he brought that he had the essence, but he managed to give them the essence that they, in their teaching Torah, have the essence of the Eibishter. So that's why they needed them, because in other words, they shouldn't be stuck only in the level of revelations. And as we said, go to higher and higher revelations, never ending. But to have the etzem, that's Rabbi was the only one that had it. Looks like it from Das Minor. And he's the one who had to give it to them. And they came to, ultimately, they came to a level that they nullified themselves to him. They were able to get it. But it seems to me that was the problem of the 24,000 students. They could never get out from the level of revelation and to come to the essence of the neshama, of the essence of Torah. Rabbi, who was revealing the secrets of Torah, in the secrets, what means the secrets of Torah? Some people think secrets of Torah, it's a secret, we're not telling you. No, that's not secrets of Torah. There's such concept also, there's something we don't tell you. That it remains a secret. But that's not the real idea of secrets of Torah. The real concept of secrets means it's a secret because the quality of that is beyond any kind of revelation perception. So again, so it could be it's a secret because it's beyond me. So even so, it's just a higher level of revelation. Compared to Elam HaYetzirah, the world of Bria is a secret. But because Yetzirah cannot understand Elam HaBria, even if it's just a higher revelation, but it's a higher revelation completely in a different world completely. Therefore, they cannot understand it. But Rabbi, what he gave them, not only a higher level of revelation, infinitely higher from what they had before, and infinitely higher, that was the essence of Torah, the essence of the neshama. So in other words, and that was very interesting, just for, by the way, so the Tanya, the word Tanya, where the Alter Rebbe starts his first word of his book, Tanya, but that's the Torah Shebeksav of Chassidus. So Tanya is the same letters of Esan. That here in the Tanya, there's the Esan, the essence of the neshama. Esan means the strength, the old, hard, means the essence of the neshama, of the connection of the Jew with the Eibishter. In other words, the connection between the Jew and the Eibishter is in 2 levels. One is in the revelation of godliness. You appreciate godliness. You love the Eibishter. You're thirsty for the Eibishter. You have awe for the Eibishter. You have fear of the Eibishter. But there's another thing that mitzvah, the different levels of the neshama. One second. There has to be, so that's why the secret of Torah, when it's the essence compared to revelation is completely beyond it. There's no way the revelation, if he will, as much as he will go, he'll never get to the essence. That has to be a completely, so how could Rabbi give it to them? Because he is the essence of the neshama, he himself is them, and he's their essence. It's not that he is A and they are B. He's the Etzem of the Neshama of all the Tanoim. You could say of called Klal Yisrael, all the Jewish nation. Therefore, he's able to give it to them because the essence is not limited in being concealed. Even so, from logical point of view, the essence is so much beyond. It can never come in revelation. Etzem built in Mizgale. Essence cannot be revealed. But the truth of the essence going in the essence that he's not limited to that aspect, that he's because he's beyond him, he cannot come down, and he could come to them. But not only come down, like Shlomo gave 3,000 examples, and the lowest example came to the lowest person. That coming down, that the essence is there. For the fun of it, we'll give you a simple example. When mothers, when they have a son in yeshiva, so whenever there's somebody traveling from South Africa or from whatever you want from the United States or so the mother for a few weeks she cooks ragalach, cookies. She's sending it to her son. And we think that there's no cookies in the state or in Israel. No good cookies. They say that there's good cookies over there. So what is the mother sending? She is sending herself in the cookie. So when she's sending the cookie, she's so excited. It means to you so much. And you feel when she's asking you, taking your bag of cookies, that mamish is negeh benefesh. And then when the boy is eating the cookies, he's not eating the cookies. He's eating his mother's cookies. That's a different story completely. This is, in other words, the essence love of the mother comes through, because it sounds like a funny word, but comes through that idea of eating his mother's cookies. So going back, so that's why Rashbi, he was so much beyond them, not only in the level of infinitely beyond them, but in a higher level of revelation, and therefore they couldn't understand them. No, because he was completely in the level of essence. And therefore he said about himself, in one unity I'm united with Eivishter. Be'achide, in him I'm one, be'lehite, in him I flame them. And when the Talmidim realized that, whatever heart came from, probably from him too, and that came to his being in Golos, being in the cave for 12, 13 years, that he managed to be able to reveal that level of himself and to reveal that in himself to them, and also in the Nifun Torah, that we revealed Pnimis HaTorah, the secrets of Torah. It means Torah, it's connected with the essence of Torah, with the essence of the Eivishter. Now that could explain how he said that he could free the whole world from judgment. But he could free the world from judgment. Step number one, we ask. So then we ask why he didn't do it. Or did he do it, and what does it mean? So the explanation, when we say that he could free the world from judgment, not that they should remain sinners, chas v'shalom, and I'll get connections that he shouldn't be punished. It's not doing a favor to anybody, not to the world, because the world will remain not a good world, that it should be a dwelling place for the Eivishter. And not for the person, because the person will remain a bad person. The whole purpose of judgment is not, it's gvurish b'chesed. It's not gvurish. Even gvurish b'gvur is ultimately chesed. Because the whole idea of gvura is in order how to bring the Eibishter, the essence of the Eibishter is essence of goodness. So everything, as I said, less smaller b'hayatik, the level of atik, in the essence of the Eibishter, there's no small, there's no left, there's no gvura. The whole purpose of gvura is how to help the person, giving him an injection in a physical sense or an operation, and this in a spiritual sense. And every one of us could see in certain hardship of his life, like it's hindsight 2020, it happened 20, 50 years ago. Could see that something had came out good. And therefore it says when Mashiach will come, we'll thank the Eibishter for all his anger with us. Because we will see how that was not only for the good, that's a good enough level, that everything is for the good. I didn't want Mitzrayim, it was for good, but that's good itself. But we're not going to that direction to explain that thing we spoke about a little bit before. So Rashbi, when he's saying we have to say that he could reveal his level that is the essence of the connection of the Jew with the Eibishter, the essence, Etzem and Hashem, that's one with the Eibishter. He will reveal that, then will happen like a messianic time. That everybody will become good. So he's saying, when you're talking about the revelation of godliness, if you're not the essence, so you cannot, one revelation cannot get everywhere. Therefore, another Tana could not have that, did not have that idea that he could free the whole world minadin, right? Because he cannot affect the whole world minadin. Sign because you're looking on the scale is equal, and one mitzvah could fill the whole scale. That's because of everyone, but not. Here we're talking about the power of one person, because Rashbi was the etzem and the shamet of the whole Klal Yisrael, and therefore the etzem, he was one with the Eibishter, it was the essence of the whole world. So by revealing his level, that in the world should be revealed, that the world should realize that the whole essence is the likud, that they are being created from the Eibishter the whole time, and everything will transform. That's similar to the idea of Mashiach. What will Mashiach come? Mashiach, the whole world will become good. No jealousy, no hate, no fights, nothing wrong. Everything will be good. No stealing, no cheating, right? Everybody will be good. Talking about the knife and the character, even the non-Jews. Why? Somebody is going to, because it will be revealed the essence of the connection of the world. You'll see in every creature, in every piece, you'll see the Dvar Havai, the words of the Eibishter, that power that's created. It's coming from the essence of the Eibishter, that he's creating it every moment. That's the truth of everything. Everything else beside the Eibishter, there's nothing there. So that's the meaning what Rabbi Shbi is saying, that he could free the world from the, not he'll free them and they'll remain not good, but the Rebbe will forgive them. As it says, if the Rebbe would create the world midas chesed, it would be a terrible world with the attribute of chesed. Like it was in the time of the Mabel, there was chesed. The first 1,000 years was chesed. Right? So everybody, and if you wouldn't bring the Mabel, it would be even worse. So the Gvur that was the second 1,000 years that had the Mabel was in order to cleanse them. So Rashbi says, no, I could clean that now through from Meshach, from the received the Torah till now. Now is revealed in one person, in a neshama, in a guf, soul in a body, in Rashim Barachai, the essence of the neshama that is one with the Eibishter. How all Jews have the essence of the neshama. Everyone has a yechida, but Rashbi was the yechida klal, is the general yechida for everybody and for the whole world. So if I reveal myself, right, then there will be no judgment. Why? Because there won't be no need for judgment, because they accomplished that. Then the question, if you could do such a good thing, would save us all the tzoros that we have in the history. So why didn't you do it? I said, I'm not people now. I'm not going to answer that. Why didn't you do it? Especially the already you advertised already. You got the honor for that you got. We know that you could do it. And why didn't they need you to do it? So the simple idea of what many people are thinking, because we want not it should be given to you a present from above. You should do it. Like the Rabbi said, I'm giving it over to you to bring Mashiach, not I'm going to bring Mashiach. The Rabbi are going to bring Mashiach. You see it. Okay, it's a good thing. So why did he say that? I could do it. And you don't have to say it. We want because we want it. And then I would like to say that if he said it in a certain way, he did it. So I would say why he said it, that the Jew should know that in his essence, he could lift himself up. There's two ways. I could do it, but you could lift yourself up, revealing yourself. What I'm in the Rashbi is in the physical world, he has means the essence of Neshama is in the world. You could reach, you have access to that by learning Torah, and especially by learning Pnimis at Torah. You're connecting to the essence of Torah. And I would go a step further. He, in a certain aspect, he did it. The gain of that, he did it, that we lived all the Jews to a higher level, that they didn't need the judgment. And now what happened after that went to much a higher level. Okay, we'll stop here. We know we're going to celebrate. It's coming Tuesday, like Emor, Rabbi. And this is the Parsha gives the bracha for that. Emor ve'amarto should say that you should lahazir gdelim alaktanim, to the lahazir meloshen shining. The zeir is also called shining. The gdelim, everyone in his house, the ultimate gdelim is Rabbi and all the Rabbeim. But the real gdelim, the shining out on the ktanim on us, that we know we have access to Rabbi, shebekolachet vechad, the Rabbi that's in every one of us, to the Nosi Adeh that's in every one of us, to the Etzem Neshama of the Rebbe, it is completely the Yechide HaKlol is the essence of the general of all Neshamas Yisrael. To reveal that, we have the Galus of Rabbi Melech HaMashiach, Niske Zenz mit Rebbe Beguv Gash Midol Amato, Hu Yigolenu. A good Shabbos, and to meet now in Beis Hamikdash, Ashlishi, Doch Klal Yisrael, now Mamash. Good Shabbos.